I'm recording this at the end of June, and it's just that time of year when you look at your calendar and you see the summer holidays are coming. How does this make you feel? Does this fill you with excitement? Does it fill you with dread? Does it make you just want to crawl under the duvet? With childcare issues being one of the biggest causes of stress for parents, today I'm going to talk about stress, burnout, and how we can try to prevent it before we hit the wall and feel it's all too much, especially with the chaos of the summer holidays looming. Welcome to the Happy Thriving Mums podcast, the show that talks about the simple actions busy mums like you can take to prioritise your own health, happiness and fitness. And it doesn't stop there. This show also includes amazing stories from remarkable women who help others to be the best version of themselves. Because if you feel great, you thrive, and so does your family. So, if you're ready to overcome mum guilt, manage overwhelm, feel and look your best, and create a happier, more balanced life for yourself and your family, this podcast is for you. Hi, thanks for tuning in this week. So today I am talking about stress, burnout, and how these can really affect mums over the summer holidays. So I think we all know the holidays are coming. It's not that holiday, the one with a big red truck and someone smiling at you off the back of it. It's the summer holidays, that 6-week or longer period of time where the kids are off school, and as a mum, you're either super excited about it or there are feelings of dread, concern. How am I going to fill the next 6 weeks? How am I going to cope with working and entertaining the children? How am I going to work out childcare arrangements? Maybe it's a mixture of all of these things, but they are coming. It's inevitable. We as mums know that we want to make the summer holidays a fun and exciting time for our children. We want them to have a brilliant time. We want to try and enjoy it. But there's always that pressure of trying to make it fantastic and make it the best time ever because you want your kids to have a brilliant summer. But sometimes that is just not attainable. And we all know really deep down that there isn't going to be this wondrous 6-week spell of harmony where everybody gets on, every day is super fun and there's something going on. We know that we have to manage our own expectations and also the expectations of our children as to what the summer is actually going to be like. And I think I'm going to start by just saying for everybody, myself included, that we know as mums, we do our best every single day. It's the same with the holidays. We can only do our best and do what we can to make sure, firstly, that our children are safe, that our children are happy, and as long as they really have those two things, safety and happiness, us there for at least some of the time, that is really all they need. If you can take them on day trips out, go to play dates, do all these extra things, go on holiday, that is a massive bonus. But really what the children will remember is the experience and the fun and the times that they had with you. And whether that's for a day here and there in the summer because of work commitments and that's what you can do and what you can manage, that is brilliant. That is incredible. If you are around for more and you spend more time with them, again, that is incredible. We know that we can only do what we can do within the parameters of our lives. So don't go feeling mum guilt, feeling those greater expectations of how it should be, because should is a word which differs for everybody. It is what you can do in these circumstances that your situation provides, and just make the best of those and do the best you can. And that is fine. That is great. And that's what I think we need to remember. Treat this as your permission slip to forego this idea of perfectionism, because perfection does not exist. And if it does exist, it's often, and probably in 99.9% cases, unattainable. So get rid of the idea of perfection and just be realistic and just try and make the time that you have in the summer the best you can. That is absolutely enough. With all of this in mind though, we know as mums that the summer holidays can be stressful. There's been a recent report that has been conducted by Mental Health UK on burnout. Their burnout report showed that 91% of adults experienced high pressure or stress at some point throughout the past year. And that for parents in particular, a lot of this stress was caused by childcare issues being one of the key problems. And I know in the summer holidays, the childcare issues are huge. In most jobs, people only get 4 to 5 weeks of leave across the whole year. So when you think of holiday times for your children, having a 6-week block in the summer is a lot of days to fill and a lot of holiday to take. Then when you think about the rest of the holiday that children have throughout the rest of the year, it equates in a normal state school to around 13 weeks of holiday a year. And if you do the maths, if there's 2 people looking after the children, then that's probably a maximum of 10 weeks that you can fill. And if you actually again think of the maths, there's no way that you're going to be able to do that together. So the childcare situation within the holidays is a huge thing. It is so challenging, and having to try and logistically make that work can be really stressful, and just thinking about it sometimes can be too much. And then I don't know if you feel the same. Sometimes if I feel overwhelmed by something, instead of actually sitting down, making a plan and being a bit more rational about it, I just won't think about it. I'll push it to the side. And then when it gets closer and closer, especially in the summer, I realise that I've missed deadlines for getting children into holiday clubs or trying to book them into activities, and then you get even greater stress. So what I'm going to try and talk about today in today's episode is kind of twofold. Firstly, recognizing signs and symptoms of stress and burnout, thinking of ways that we can mitigate stress and so actually we can be a bit calmer, and then also giving a few ideas of how to kind of make the summer holiday stress situation less. So that's kind of what we're trying to aim for with today's episode. So let's start just by thinking about stress. We have all experienced stress in our lives. I think that it's very unlikely that there is anybody that hasn't been stressed at some point. And for some people, this might be a daily basis where you feel stressed every single day. I know that I've mentioned it before, but getting out the house in the morning for school seems to be a constant source of stress for me. Getting out the house at all, actually, at the weekend we went to a birthday party and we left really late. And I know deep down that that was my fault and that made me feel so stressed and my reaction was awful. I think I shouted at everybody and was like, why can't we leave the house on time? Why are we always late? And deep down I know that it is probably my fault because I didn't start getting everybody ready early enough. And then obviously as things get later and later, you feel bad about it. And instead of just being like, right, we're late, deal with it, it becomes a stressful situation, which I know that I put out onto everybody else. And I've been trying really hard to work on this and to try and feel less stressed about these situations, and also try and be more realistic in my time management, because I don't know about you, I think it is quite a normal mum trait. You think you've got a block of time, say half an hour, and I always overestimate the amount of things that I can do in that half an hour. I think I'll be able to do about 5 different tasks when realistically I could probably only do 1 or 2 properly. So I know that this is a thing that I do and I'm trying really hard to work on it. And this for me is a massive source of stress. So I know that it gives me a emotional reaction, which I then put upon everybody else. It makes me feel irritable and it makes me feel really cross. So I know my stress response, I know what the triggers are, and I really am trying to work on how to manage these triggers better so I don't get stressed within these situations. But stress in general is something which is a feeling that you get when you are under too much pressure. Some people say that stress is also shown when you are scared of something. It's a fear of something, and stress can be the response to being scared of a certain situation, which could be something big or it could be something small. It could be feeling under too much pressure at work and you can't deal with it and you're scared of failing or something like that. But it also could just be like the stress of asking your child to put their shoes on and you've asked them 3 times already, they still haven't done it, and then you just feel more and more angry about the situation and it kind of then presents itself in a certain way. So stress can cause feelings of irritability, it can make you impatient, but it also can make you feel aggressive. It can give you feelings of dread, it can make you worry about health. If stress is ongoing, it can build up and build up and build up, and that isn't a great thing. You can, on the flip side, get something called eustress, which is also a positive stress. Sometimes you do need a little bit of stress to actually get stuff done or to achieve something or to do something within your day. And actually, there's research that has shown that exercise and exercising, putting your body through things which are difficult but manageable, so it feels like it's something that's a little bit hard, can actually help you to deal with your response to other stressful situations. So when you're doing weight training, for example, you are often trying to lift weights which are maybe heavier than what you can lift normally, or you lift it and you find it hard, and then you obviously try and practice and do it again and again. The more you do it, the stronger you become and the easier it gets. So you are stressing the body, but you're working through it. And there has been things that have shown that by stressing the body and practicing coping under stress, for example, within a weight training situation or running or exercising and overloading the body, you are actually training the body to cope in other stressful situations. So that is why exercising regularly is such a good way to help deal with stress. The more regularly you can exercise in a helpful way, in a positive way, in a careful way, then it is helpful to help manage stress and also help prevent feelings of stress in the first place. So that's just an aside, but back to stress and back to this idea of stress. Stress can continue. So if you don't deal with these feelings of stress, which you may find that you get from being under pressure or facing big changes, or even when you're feeling out of control of certain situations, stress can happen. If this happens over a long period of time, this is when you can actually start to feel burnt out. So burnout is almost in a way defined as a constant feeling of stress, which can build up subtly. Like every now and then you might feel certain symptoms, but then over time these symptoms may get worse and get greater and become more and more overwhelming. Burnout can be shown through emotional, physical and behavioural symptoms. So emotional symptoms can feel like when you just feel a bit hopeless consistently, that you feel tearful, that you feel irritable, maybe a bit numb. I know that I was told of an example not so long ago where there was a mum who was making dinner for her family and she just burst into tears because she just couldn't decide what to make for dinner. It was all too much. Behavioural symptoms, maybe when you're feeling kind of a bit disengaged by things which normally you would love to do, that you feel a bit withdrawn from social situations, you don't want to see people, you don't want to meet up, you don't really want to be doing work, or you find that you are inconsistent at work. So there's behavioural symptoms as well. But you can also, with burnout feel physical symptoms too, such as muscle pains, headaches, really, really tired, you're sleeping poorly, lack of concentration, you can gain weight as well. So I think the difference between stress and the difference between burnout is that stress may be a short-term thing that you experience due to a kind of micro situation, and you just you feel it, but then you do deal with it quite quickly and then move on. Whereas burnout is something which is prolonged over time, and it can grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And what you really want to do is, we acknowledge that there is stress regularly in life as an adult and as a parent, but burnout seems to occur more so as a prolonged way of feeling stress. So if you're feeling stress for a prolonged period of time, that's when burnout can occur. And I think that this can cause more problems, and it can cause further deterioration, poor mental health. And it's something that in many ways, if we are aware of it, we can try to prevent it. So what can we do? How can we try to protect ourselves from feeling burnt out as a mum? And also, how can we protect ourselves from going into the summer holidays feeling overwhelmed and burnt out to start with, when we are feeling this pressure to maybe entertain, to manage, to feed, to schedule a whole 6 weeks of life, activities, everything for our families, for our children, and try and mitigate these ideas that within this time that you can feel quite kind of isolated, and you can feel quite all-consuming, and that if kind of you feel that in school time when your children are away, you do have that little bit of extra breathing space, how can you still maintain that type of space for you and make sure that you are managing well, you are feeling good, and then obviously if you're feeling good, then you can help everybody else around you to feel good. So what can we do to stop and prevent burnout in these summer holidays? I have several ideas for you just to think about and maybe try and start to implement now, so that when you hit the summer holidays, you actually feel like you've got a bit of a plan and that you can enjoy it, because that is our aim. We only get one life. We want to enjoy it as much as we possibly can. And let's think in 5-10 years time, you want to be able to look back at moments in your life when your children are growing up and be, actually, that was pretty fantastic, rather than, oh my goodness, can't believe I got through that. Thank goodness I did. So let's think of the positives here. Let's see, what can you do now to try and mitigate stress and burnout in the summer holidays? So the first thing that I'd like you to think about is actually setting boundaries which allow you to protect yourself and what you can achieve within these holidays. So what boundaries can you set, or do you want to set, which make things a little bit easier for you? So one of them could be around play dates, for example. The kids obviously love play dates. And sometimes if your children are invited to other people's houses, that can actually be brilliant and give you a bit of personal space and give you a little bit of time to recover. But don't feel pressured to do 5 play dates in 1 week, because that is just a crazy amount for anybody, whether they are having play dates at your house or elsewhere. Manage your time, manage your boundaries. If you don't want to do a play date with a certain child, for example, it is okay to say no. If you don't want to go and see relatives in a certain amount of time, if you don't want to take your kids to a park every day, whatever it is, know that you are putting in place boundaries which protect you from feeling overwhelmed by the things that you're agreeing to do in the summer holidays. So my first idea to help you feel less stressed about what you need to do is set yourself some boundaries and then stick to them, which is sometimes the harder part. Secondly, think about checking in with yourself on a daily basis. If you know that you have to work and you need to also get your children to wherever they are going, whether it's for some kind of childcare or whether they've also got activities going on that day, just take a couple of minutes at the beginning of the day, or even in the middle when you're feeling overwhelmed by something that's going on, just to ask yourself this question: what do I need today? And when I say need, I mean we all ideally would need 3 days in a spa and a holiday on a Caribbean island. Hey, that would be nice, wouldn't it? But actually, sometimes micro needs fulfilled can be really, really good, and they can give you a little bit of an uplift. So what do I need today? Might you just need to take 5 minutes to walk around the block if you can? Might it just be that you need to go to the shops and just buy a few extra supplies? Might you just need to just go and sit on your own for 5 minutes and have a cup of tea? Might it just be that actually you need to have a TV day with the kids where you just all choose something you want to watch on TV, movies, whatever, and you just have a complete chill out pajama day? No pressure to go anywhere, to do anything. Don't worry about kind of all those we should be doing this, we should be doing that, we should be here, there, and everywhere. Just give yourself a day of complete no pressure worry. So have a daily check-in. What is it that you need to do today? Whatever it is, see if you can do it. So that's my next idea for you. My third idea for you to try to beat stress and burnout in the summer holidays is to prioritize sleep. And I know for me, this is a really challenging one because my daughter really struggles to get to sleep. So even if I really try and go to bed early to prioritize my sleep, quite often she has certain needs which mean that she needs a bit of help getting to sleep, and therefore I end up going to bed a bit later than I'd actually like to. But if you can try and get enough sleep by having a decent sleep routine, have a wind down routine at the end of the evening, and this doesn't have to go on for half an hour where you're putting scented oils out and you're breathing in certain things, or you're meditating or reading or whatever works for you. It could be 5 minutes, could be 2 minutes, but keep your bedroom dark, keep it quiet, try and keep it cool, which in the middle of a heat wave, which we've got in the UK at the moment, is really challenging. But what can you do to kind of have a regular routine where you allow yourself to unwind before you go to bed, put your screens away for half an hour or so beforehand, don't check any more work emails or look into anything like that. Just kind of allow yourself to unwind and go to bed at a reasonable time so you get the best sleep possible. Because if you can get a good night's sleep, sleep is one of the things which can help reduce stress, which can help you function better, and also can help you deal with stressful situations much better than just reacting to them because you're tired and a bit irritable. So try and get enough sleep and have a good sleep routine which can help you out is a really, really good one. And if you do struggle with your sleep, it can be worth going and contacting your GP and speaking to them about it, because they may be able to give you some ideas to help there. Then my final thing, which I bet you can guess what I'm going to say, but please try to do regular exercise. Regular exercise can help with stress. It can help with burnout. It can help with sleep. It can help you get a few minutes to yourself by moving your body. It can release endorphins. It can make you feel better. It can help you feel like managing situations is much, much easier. So whether this is getting up a little bit earlier and doing some kind of workout routine before anybody else is up. I know this isn't ideal for everybody, but it can work really well. It might just be getting out the house with the kids and walking around the block for 10 minutes of an evening after dinner. It can be seeing if you can get some help with childcare and you just get out for half an hour, go to the gym, go to a yoga class for 45 minutes, whatever it is. But try to get regular exercise in. If it is your non-negotiable, it is definitely one of mine, and I know it helps me manage my stress levels massively. Try and build it into your holiday routine so that the kids know that you at this time are doing something for you if you can. Obviously, if you're the only person looking after your children, then that might not be as easy a thing to build into your routine. But if you can build in some regular exercise into your week, it works wonders as a stress relief. And a stress release even, relief and release, it works both ways. So please, please try to build that in. So my 4 ideas to try and eliminate stress, burnout, and just feel a little bit better is: number 1, set boundaries. Protect your boundaries and protect your kind of peace, because don't try and do too many things. It doesn't work so well and it just can feel out of hand, overwhelming. You don't need that. Number 2, have a daily check-in with yourself. Ask yourself, what is it that you need today? What do I need today? And try and honour that in some way. Thirdly, get enough sleep. Try and prioritise sleep, because if you get good sleep, you're less irritable. Things can seem much, much more manageable. And finally, try to do some regular exercise, because if you can regularly exercise, it can also make you feel much better about yourself, about life, and about the whole situation. So this summer, I really urge you to look after yourself, to notice signs of stress, if you're being a bit more irritable than normal, if you're not coping, if you're not looking forward to things which you would normally find fun. notice these things and try and act in a way to manage them and mitigate them a little bit better. If you do feel that things are getting a bit too much for you, that you are feeling irritable, upset, sad, that you can't cope with things a lot of the time, I urge you to go and seek extra help. Go and speak to your GP. They will be able to help you. But please don't feel that you need to suffer alone and it's just normal. You can feel great. You can feel better. You shouldn't have to feel overwhelmed all the time. Even if it's just talking to a friend or sharing it with a family, relative or partner, please do listen and feel and know that you don't have to deal with things like that on your own. Seek advice, seek some help, because you deserve to feel good too. I hope that this episode has been helpful. I hope that you can have an enjoyable summer and try and find ways to not feel that it's overwhelming, and make sure that you can put a plan in place which helps you to feel at your best and that you can really enjoy yourself. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed it, please click follow because it helps more people find the podcast. Let's all work together to share information and help us be the happiest, thriving mums that we can be. Have a brilliant week.